here's my big tips for transplanting. Water it in pretty good, not saturated when you're moving it. Just give it a little bit. Cut the roots. Get it moved however you can,
Yank.
and then when you're prepping, when you're putting it in, water the poop out of it. Just dump water on wherever it's gonna. As soon as you transplant it, and then I add two things to it. I add lime because we're in Georgia. Everything's so
Oh.
acidic that if it's too acidic, the boxwoods aren't going to like it. And then I use Osmocote. And Osmocote obviously is a fertilizer. But what I do also with both of those, I make sure that the root systems get close to that mineral and Osmocote. A lot of people are kind of putting it maybe too far
Kind
around,
of
but I
around,
have it
yeah.
right near.
You put it like right on top of,
I
basically?
I wear a glove and I have a handful of Osmocote and I put it right down as far as I can, right near the base, and then I release it.
So when I transplant, instead of using Osmocote, I like to use Biotone. It's a root stimulator.
Yeah,
From
that's what I
Espoma.
use too.
And that I'll actually mix in with the soil. So like when you're amending your hole, doing the half existing soil, half, amendment, I throw in, usually depending how big it is, a couple handfuls of Biotone and then mix it in the hole and then pull all the dirt out. And then I'll actually throw one or two handfuls directly at the bottom of the hole and then put the plant right on top of it. And that really just helps get the plants growing and getting their roots growing back, because that's the biggest thing when you transplant is you want to get as many roots as you can.
Yeah.
So
like
on those boxwoods,
do you use only Biotone, or do you I feel like I always go to Lowe's and there's like Biotone and this and this and this and
Oh
this
my
and this,
gosh.
like all the tones. And
All the time.
even me as a horticulturist, like I'm overwhelmed. But then I've heard so many people say, "Oh, I just use Biotone for everything." What do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Biotone, you could use Biotone on everything. It's great because, I believe in strong roots. If you have strong roots, you'll eventually get a pretty plant on top. And you don't want, fertilizers with a lot of nitrogen make the top grow, and then they don't have the roots and they need more water. So you could use Biotone to fertilize the whole yard. I'm just have too much yard and I'm too lazy to.
And it gets expensive. I
agree.
I use Costco carries the holly tone, and I know it's a little bit acidic, but like for the majority of my shrubs, the azaleas, rhododendrons, gardenias, I feel like that's all right. So I kind of holly tone everywhere because I have that giant bag that I'm like, why did I buy this much?
Costco is the best. I've been buying buckets of preen from them.
Do you?
Yeah, and the rose 2-in-1.
They sell that.
They got it. A big jug.
I mean, not that I would use that because it's not organic, but
yeah. But I mean, you could use Biotone everywhere if you wanted, but I'm too lazy and I use just all-purpose shrub fertilizer that you can put over the mulch and it'll get in, because you have to pull for Biotone to work well. You have to pull all your mulch or pine straw back, and that Biotone has to touch the ground. All organic fertilizers are like that, so it's just a lot of work. So I'm lazy and do
so interested to finally go to actually a place where I can buy all this in Austria, because I feel like I've never really gardened in Austria, and people don't mulch here. So I'm like, I don't even know which type of mulch I can get here or where to buy it, or Biotone. Now I'm so used to those names. I'm sure it's not called Biotone, right? So I'm so excited.
No, I don't think Biotone's in Europe.
Probably not. I'll tell you next time, because next week, I'm sure I've been there.
But back to transplanting though. Can I show a picture of my favorite transplanting shovel that I use when I
do it? Show it.
Let's do it.
I am obsessed with.
I know everybody has a favorite shovel, but this is
my favorite line of shovels. They are the best.
Yeah.
It's called Radius.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's an ergonomic shovel. I have everything, every single one from them. But this is awesome because it's that long, skinny, flat shovel like Mario was talking about, and it's perfect for getting underneath shrubs and everything like that. And one thing I've done in the past.
Go ahead.
I'd say one thing that I had to transplant this like 10-foot tall Japanese maple all by myself one time for someone, and I was like, I cannot kill this Japanese maple. So I dug up my whole like root ball, but it was too big to pull on my own. And so if you take a tarp, you can work that tarp underneath the root ball, and then that'll help you pull it out of the hole and then drag it where it's got to go.
That's a great idea.
One of my little tricks that I've done. So
that is a great idea.
I think this is where you can see that the garden culture has been probably further along in the German speaking countries, because we have like different words for this shovel than a regular shovel. Like there's at least 3 different words of like a type of shovel, and I would never call this a shovel anymore, but I absolutely agree with you. It's a fantastic tool to have.
This is another, if we're talking about shovels, this is an awesome shovel here
the
too.
Root Slayer. I'm sorry. The name is like,
that's a lot.
That's fantastic.
But it's great because if you look down here. Oh my gosh,
it's like a saw.
It's a saw. So like if you're trying to plant somewhere where there's a lot of roots, you can just get that guy in the ground and you just like saw around the hole to cut a hole in the roots.
You get the Root Slayer shovel. That's what you need. That's awesome.